I'm Zuel Bailey, your Artistic Director of the Sitka Music Festival, and I am super invigorated right now. I just returned from Alaska from a 3-week trip where I did a lot of things behind the scenes, including pop-ups and seeing the new Minor Music Center in Sitka, as well as travel to Fairbanks, a little bit to Anchorage, as well as Juneau. Things are hopping right now, in addition to our virtual series that we've got underway. We hope you enjoyed the Matt Herskowitz extravaganza back in October. I certainly did, and I got to interview him while being in Sitka, and I got to show him, of course, Centennial Hall. We miss very much being at UAA and all of our patrons in Anchorage, because that's what we'd be doing about right now with our autumn and winter festivals. But this year's a little different. We're bringing you a lot of different artists in a lot of different ways. Our next artist, which I'd like to actually talk about last, is Rob Capello from What Makes It Great. Is coming up in November. It's actually November 12th, but I'll come back to that at the end because I want to tell you a quick story about that. Just a little overview of our season though. December 10th, is the 250th birthday month of Ludwig van Beethoven. And we get Adam Golka, the wonderful pianist, Polish pianist, to come in and serenade us with 3 sonatas. It's actually a very personal season for me as well. All of these wonderful artists are my friends, and I have a long history with them. But we also have great connections with other great artists. In his program of his 3 Beethoven sonatas in December 10th, I've asked that he perform something in honor of his teacher and my mother's teacher from the Peabody Conservatory of Music, Leon Fleischer. Mr. Fleischer passed away in August. Adam Golka was so lucky that he was able to interview Mr. Fleischer back in the spring before COVID hit, and basically attach him to one of the sonatas that was inspired in these studies with Mr. Fleischer and Adam Golka. So that's the way his programs work. He has a big celebration called 32 at 32. There are 32 Beethoven sonatas, and Adam is 32. And each of those 32 sonatas is attached to an inspiration. So he'll show us and showcase 3 of those for us, and one of them will be with the great Leon Fleischer. Very much looking forward to that. In January, the Singing Siren, Shelley Watson, January 14th. Shelley and I went to Juilliard together, and she is a riot. It's something you'll never quite experience again. And I always say you can't unhear or unsee her at her shows. And she's going to showcase for us how live shows on the internet can work. So you can sit in your home, she can see you, hear you, and correspond with you while giving her show live from New York City. Singing jazz, singing opera, it's going to be wonderful. But that's in January 14th. February 11th, that's around the time that we would have had our winter classics at UAA. Very special, Madeline and Cicely Parnas. They are very special to us. They've been to Sitka, as well as Fairbanks, as well as Anchorage. And the reason why this is interesting is because during these times, the cutting edge is actually coming from the young artists, the rising stars. So I've given them carte blanche to show us the future of how classical music and this kind of music, maybe even world music, can be presented. So they're going to be bringing this to us from Minnesota, where they're putting this film together for us and walking us through it. Of course, we're going to have pre-concert lectures, we're going to have interviews, as well as happy hour gatherings to also discuss before and after these. And then the last show of our scheduled virtual season is March 11th with Richard Dowling, big favorite of ours. And for those of you who got to hear his Joplin program, it's called Great Scott, and it's wonderful. It's got the entertainer and all of the things that were in the movie The Sting. But in this particular case, because we're still trying to celebrate and tilt our hat towards Beethoven, he's giving us a program of Beethoven and Chopin. Everybody loves Richard Dowling, and he puts on quite a show and tells a lot of great stories behind the scenes. After that, there are a lot more surprises. We're getting geared up. This is why I was in Alaska, to set things in motion, not only with filming myself doing Bach cello suites, but getting the Minor Music Center ready for our 50th anniversary in Sitka next summer, which will happen and will be a celebration that it'll blow everything off the charts. We couldn't do what we're doing without Alaska Airlines, and I really wanted to thank Globally for their support. I couldn't have gone up to Alaska and done the behind-the-scenes work with the staff, traveling the state, and their continued support has been tremendous for us, as well as, of course, your donations. You know, with COVID and not having live concerts, our donations are down, our revenue sales are down 65%, but we're still giving you this series as a gift. And you have to go to the website, sitkamusicfestival.org, to get that password, or you can call 907-747-6774 to get that special password that's our gift to you for being such amazing supporters of us for almost 50 years coming up. So please go to the website, please call that number, 907-747-6774, and you'll be given that special thank you password to hear all of these events, see all of these events in the comforts of your own home. Now for our next concert, November 12th, Rob Kappelow, What Makes It Great. I was just practicing and I was thinking about all of this. And you know, I assume, a lot of classical musicians assume that you know what we know. We study, we read the books, we read about the artists, the composers, the inspirations, the harmonies, what makes it difficult, what makes it inspiring. One day, little side story, I was playing for my father a piece. My father's got his doctorate in music education, as my mother has her master's in music performance. And after I finished playing what I thought was a very mainstream piece, he asked me why I thought it was great, why I spent the time with this piece, practicing it, and why I thought the audience would like it. You know, I was like 12 years old at the time, and I found that an interesting question because I thought he already knew. So I took about 5 minutes to tell him all the things that were happening in that composer's life, what harmonies he used, that he was happy or unhappy, what was happening in his personal life at the time, and what makes it very special on the cello, which is my instrument. And my father's mind was blown. He said, gosh, if I had just known that prior to listening, I would have heard it very differently. And that kind of changed my path to, we need to break that wall down with the audience and share what makes things great. Little did I know that there was a genius on this planet named Rob Kappelow who was already doing such a project. The way his project works, and in this particular case on November 12th at 6 p.m., he's going to delve into the world personally, harmonically, compositionally of Cole Porter. The first half of the show is basically kind of a surgery and a behind the scenes where he'll tell you everything you need to know. And I'll tell you, every time I see one of his shows, I don't know 90% of what he's telling me. So even if you're studied, you can't take anything for granted. And then on the second half of the show, he presents it as it would be in a regular concert. And when I tell you, you can't believe what changes, and once you know what makes it great, all I can say is, once you see this kind of show, you're going to want more of these shows. It is a life changer. So please tune in for our next concert, November 12th, 6 p.m. Rob Kappelow, What Makes It Great, Cole Porter, the music of Cole Porter. And thank you again for your continued support. Thank you for our board, and thank you for the great state of Alaska, for just all that they do and make people feel safe. I felt very safe traveling this state, representing this wonderful organization. I'm Zuul Bailey, your artistic director. I'm going to get back to practicing now. Enjoy, sign up, call that number. I'm going to say it again, 907-747-6774 or sitkamusicfestival.org for more information. And I'll see you very, very soon. Cheers. Enjoy.